As many of you know, sleep is very important to me, and I talk about it a lot. But let's just talk about some basic things that you can do to work on improving your sleep quality. Number one is work on your circadian rhythm by going out into sunlight in the morning. I've developed a new habit and it's really working for me where I go out shortly after sunrise and I do some stretching on my grass in bare feet. So I get the photons coming into my eyes first thing in the morning. I get the grounding effects of the electrons coming up from the earth and I stretch. And it's just awesome. I hope to always do this habit. And anyway, when you expose yourself to bright light first thing in the morning, it really kind of triggers a circadian rhythm that will help you to fall asleep later in the night. Step two is to avoid exposing yourself to too much blue light in the evening. So limit your screen time, limit your being on your phone, and possibly put the filters on your screens. Iris is a great app you can get that will kind of change the blue light coming out of filter the blue light coming out of your device. Highly recommend that. Now, also look at caffeine and nootropics. I have definite cutoff times in the day past which I do not drink caffeine or take anything that can be slightly stimulating. Even my Mana product, which has shilajit and ormus in there, is so energizing and I love it so much, but I can't take it past 3 p.m. because I'll be a little bit too revved up to sleep. Number three, make sure you have a practice to de-stress yourself. For me, it's exercise and meditation, two practices. So usually I meditate in the morning and possibly a little bit at night before I go to bed, but I have to exercise to get out the stress of my day. So in the evening after work, like right after work, I tend to do something pretty intense, like HIIT training or a cycling class, or I as part of my workout, I go for a run and maybe lift some weights. And that, even if it's just a half an hour, it's like erasing the effects of my day. And that allows me to get good sleep. Eating. So eating is so critical and it's really important to data drive what types of food you're eating and how that's impacting your sleep. And really the only way to do that is if you monitor your sleep. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Aura Ring is one of my favorite wearables. You can wear it. I only wear mine at night. And maybe I'm missing out on some of the main benefits of Aura Ring, but for me, it's the sleep monitoring that I love. It is just so good to understand how many hours you slept versus how many hours you were in bed, how much time you spent sleeping versus awake while you were in bed, how many times you woke up at night, how much time you spent in deep sleep, for how much time you spent in REM sleep versus light sleep. And for me, it's the deep sleep that I'm really going for. I feel the best if I can have more than an hour of deep sleep, somewhere between 1 and 2 hours. Occasionally I'll have over 2 hours, but that's pretty rare. And once in a sad while, I'll have like under an hour, and that I don't feel so good the next day. So highly recommend you start data driving all of these lifestyle factors that I've mentioned to see what things affect your deep sleep quality and quantity actually. And so for me, eating is really important. Like I cannot skip dinner and expect to have a good night's sleep because I'm hungry in the night, and that releases adrenaline and kind of keeps me out of the deeper stages of sleep and keeps me waking up several times throughout the night. I can't have an insubstantial dinner either because the same thing will happen. So I definitely make my evening meal the most complex of the whole day, and then it's really important to not eat too close to the time you go to bed because that will disrupt sleep as well. Your body's in a digestion mode. It's not as conducive to going into a restful sleep and actually detoxing, healing, and repairing. So you've got to figure out what's your time cutoff and what ratios of macronutrients are important for you in order to have the best sleep possible. And finally, watch alcohol. This is just kind of across the board. myself and my patients notice that their deep sleep quantity goes down if they drink alcohol, and their number of wakings in the night goes up, their heart rate variability deteriorates. So, sad as it is, it's just not good for sleep, and that's going to not be good for your next day. So these are just some factors that I think are things you can pay attention to, because sleeping well is critical for your health. Like I said, it's a time when you heal and repair. And the better you sleep, actually, the less you need. If I sleep well, I can do really well on 6 to 7 hours. And yeah, so if you have things you like to do in your life, and you want to be out there enjoying the world, maybe it is better to have like a better quality sleep and slightly less of it than a longer night in bed with poor quality sleep. I hope that helps.